Hey, everybody, welcome back to Jacked Up Gardening. Again, this week it's myself and Caitlin Sterner, and we are here to share some tips and tricks on how to apply Jack's Classic fertilizers. We get a lot of questions, we have the mixing rates and people are getting that, but then they say, well, how do I put it on? So we're here to tackle those questions.
Yeah, so to start off, we need to understand that Jax is designed to be mixed with water and applied as a root zone drench. We have a lot of customers that want to sprinkle our fertilizer on the soil and then apply water on top of it, and that is not recommended, as applying the mineral salts in our formulas directly onto the soil can cause burn of the roots and the stems of your plants, which we don't want. So the key is to mix Jax in a watering can or with a hose end attachment, and apply the fertilizer solution as a root zone drench, as nutrients are absorbed most efficiently through the roots of plants.
Yeah, and when you're fertilizing, it is okay to get that fertilizer solution on the leaves, flowers, and fruit of your plants too. Once you mix it at the appropriate rate, it's diluted. But know that most of those nutrients will be absorbed and provided when it's taken through the roots. We do not recommend relying strictly on foliar sprays, as nutrients are not as efficiently absorbed and translocated through the plant this way. And Caitlin, one of the things that even when we talk about people wanting to sprinkle fertilizer directly on, yeah, you risk burning, but also at the same time, most of that fertilizer that you just try to sprinkle on the soil is going to run off and not get absorbed regardless.
Yeah, so true. So the time of day that you water and fertilize your plants is also important. So the morning and early part of the day is the best time to do this, as it allows more time for the plant's leaves to dry out after you water or fertilize them. So nighttime applications in your garden are less ideal, as plant leaves, flowers, and stems will remain moist for a longer period of time, which can create, a perfect environment that encourage mildew and disease on your plants, which you really want to avoid as much as possible. So, applying or watering your garden earlier in the morning is ideal, because then the sun and the wind has plenty of time throughout the day to dry things out above ground.
I know. I spend a lot of time out in my veggie garden this time of year. What better a place to be than outside and somewhere with free food? I actually just got in from pulling some radishes coming up early. Delicious.
Nice.
Eating fruits and vegetables after a fertilizer application is okay, as there's nothing harmful or toxic in our fertilizer formulas. A quick rinse of water is recommended as a part of any good management practice. You don't want bugs or critters. That are out there, crawling through your garden. You don't want any residue on what you're eating. So it's always good for a rinse.
Yeah, so that's a great point, and always smart to wash your produce. I have two final watering tips to wrap up today. Potted plants or hanging baskets, again, should be watered until solution runs out of the bottom of the container. This indicates a thorough root zone application was applied. And for plants being grown in the ground, on the flip side, you want to saturate the top 1 to 2 inches of soil, so that way the roots have plenty of moisture in the ground that they're anchored in.
Great tips, Caitlin. And there is no exact science to knowing how much water or when your plants are going to need water, as is dependent on soil type, light intensity, wind. My backyard, depending on the temperature, the humidity, we get tons of wind. Like we haven't gotten rain in a couple days, but it's been so humid. Every time I go to check, the soil is still wet. So you want to be observant and always check your soil to see whether or not you need water. And remember, this is an imperfect science. Things are not always black and white, which makes it fun.
Oh, yeah, it sure does. So please send us any questions and garden pictures to info@jrpeters.com, or tag us on Instagram and Facebook at #JaxClassic. We would love to see your garden growing with Jax. So thanks again for joining us today.
See you guys next time.